It's the context of inspector calls. Well, we'll be making two videos about this. One is about the actual historical context of inspector calls, but also the political context is very important, and that's what we're looking at today. J.B. Priestley is a political writer. He writes in order to get a message across, and inspector calls is a classic example of this. Priestley was a socialist. He was a left-wing political thinker, and I want to talk to you about the idea of left-wing and right-wing politicians. So, left-wing politicians, like Priestley, tend to be put the good of all of society first. That may mean it's more difficult for people to become rich, but the idea is that more people will have enough money to survive. So spreading the wealth, if you like, sharing the money that is generated. At its most extreme would be communism. Communism was an idea which was formed first by Karl Marx in the 1800s, a German philosopher, who said that the workers should rise up against the people who owned the factories because there are so many more of them, and that the money should be shared out. Everyone should get their cut. Communism, I suppose you would say, really got its first opportunity to see how it works in practical terms in 1917, when Russia has a revolution, the communists take over, and the idea is that everybody is working for the state now, is working for Russia, and the money will be spread equally. It works to some extent, but people do still become rich. If you want to see the satire of how that actually works, read George Orwell's Animal Farm. Now, that's left-wing politics. Right-wing politics would be allowing each individual to have their own power to do whatever they do, and the state doesn't get involved and doesn't stop them. So, for example, Donald Trump is American president at the moment we're recording this, and he will give opportunities for business people to make more and more money, and will not bring in something like, say, healthcare for poorer people. So the American attitude is sort of, well, if you're rich, well done, you succeeded. If you're poor, unlucky, you should have worked harder. Boris Johnson is the Conservative Prime Minister of Britain, and I think that would also be a reasonable way to describe the attitude of his party. If you've worked hard and done well, you should keep that wealth. If you haven't succeeded, you aren't working hard enough, so tough. Do you see the logic here? So you've got the left, who are saying there should be support for the poor, and the right, who are saying there should be support for people who have worked hard and made a success of themselves. So the left would say pay more taxes, especially the rich people, put more money into the pot, and then we spread it all out. And the right would say low taxes, if you've made money, you've succeeded, keep your money, well done. And if you're poor, tough, there's no money to go around, so I'm afraid you're going to have to work harder. That would be their attitude. So people look at it as a left to right wing spectrum. There can be people in the middle as well. So, for example, well, in Britain, the Liberals would be in the middle. They take some of the left wing ideas, some of the right wing ideas. Labour are to the left, and the Conservatives are to the right. So Labour would probably raise taxes and put more money into the National Health Service, or paying teachers, or paying policemen, or paying the fire service. Conservatives would keep taxes low and say business people are making money for themselves, that is good. They can go off and they can have private education, paying for their kids to go to posh schools. They can pay for private healthcare, and they've earned those rights because they are successful in life. Hitler, as extreme right as you want to get, although he's slightly complicated. Ask your history teacher. And then the communist revolution in Russia, as far as left as you can get, really. So Priestley is on the left wing. Priestley believes that society should look after itself. Society and the people within it should all care for each other, because if everyone cares for each other, we will be happier and safer and stronger. Burling, who of course is the main person that Priestley is attacking, would see it the other way, wouldn't he? He would say, you look after yourself and your family, you make money for yourself, however you have to do it, that's all fine, as long as you make money for yourself, and then you've earned the right to keep it. If you treat the workers badly, tough. If a worker is ill, sack him, bring a new one in. I can't afford to have my profits dip because I'm short on workers. If a worker causes trouble, sack him. So do you see the logic of that? Left-wing politics is supporting everyone and sharing wealth. Right-wing politics is rewarding people who have been successful, and Priestley very much is on the left and attacking people, well, like all the characters in the book, who are wealthy, have done well for themselves, want to hold on to their privilege, their power and their money, and are on the right.